Bump, bump, bump. What the hell is going on with AT&T? This is the third restructuring they've had in about 5 years, I believe, and we still don't know what's going on with them. What does this mean for the Snyderverse? I actually don't know, but I'm going to pretend I know. A lot to talk to you about today. Welcome. Hold on, let me try that again. Welcome to TYs Corner. I'm so excited. I can't just you know what? I can't sing that because copyright. I'm excited because in 1 week, this is coming. Woo, that's coming. And guess who will be joining me for this crap show? Austin Lean 316. Welcome.
That's right. Yeah, man, we're officially a week away as of today. Before the premiere, the start, yeah, I'm excited, man. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Flossing with Austin.
We did some things in preparation this weekend, and that was fun. And definitely have some cool segments coming for you guys.
Yes, we do. And some segments that will piss. Oh, go ahead. Go.
Yeah, shout out everyone in the chat. What's up, everybody? Andrew, Bat Dan, Kinky, everybody. What's up? Appreciate you guys stopping by. Don't forget to
Austin. Hi, share. Austin.
And hi, myself. I'm not in the chat. But yeah, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. Guys, we really appreciate you. We are counting down the numbers, counting down the days now as we are about to hit our threshold for monetization, and we couldn't have done it without you guys. But we're almost there. We need just a little more help. So don't forget to go after this video, check out the rest of our videos, watch some other stuff. Ray Porter and Allison Crow was on last night. Actually, as a special little show we got to watch, and yeah, I don't know if you got to watch it, but
link in the description.
Yeah, the link will be here. Will be somewhere. But yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, Ty was interviewing Ray and talking to him about Darkseid, asking him questions, you know, kind of as if he was Darkseid and stuff. Yeah. And then a little surprise guest, Allison Crow, dropped by, and that was pretty cool. I got to hear her. She's a part of Army of the Dead. The opening number has a rendition of Viva Las Vegas, and she has a part in it. She gets to sing the last part, and it's really, really good. So
I said it gonna set my soul. Sorry. Speaking of doing bad things in Las Vegas, Austin, you look a little bit tired.
I may look a little bit weathered. I tried to get home as early as possible last night, but no. Yesterday was my good friend, one of my best friends since our freshman year almost.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It was his birthday, and we have celebrated every. His birthday is the 17th, mine's the 25th, and we usually tend to do something to celebrate together because we have the same thing.
Awesome.
Group and all, and so yeah, so that was fun. I may have been out a little too late, but
helping the homeless, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, man, we were helping the homeless and you know, feeding the hungry ourselves.
Giving young ladies rides home, you know.
Yep, yeah, you know, everything that good Christian boys do on their birthday. But yeah, no, it was a good time. But shout out to my boy Nate. Happy birthday, buddy. Love you. But yeah, there's a lot of news, man. There's a lot to talk about.
And the first thing we talk about today could arguably be the thing that takes up the whole show. So over the weekend, there were rumors that AT&T was trying to divest Warner Media. What that means is they're essentially selling it off.
Correct.
And they're going to merge with Discovery. And Bloomberg dropped the news on Sunday that, that is happening. So AT&T, which just acquired Warner Media, I want to say 3 years ago, 2018.
Yeah,
2018. Yeah, they're taking over. So this is what Bloomberg is saying. I'm just going to read. I'm not going to read the whole article, but to give you folks, a quick idea. This is from Bloomberg. AT&T agreed to spin off its media operations in a deal with Discovery Inc. that will create a new entertainment company, merging assets ranging from CNN and HBO to HGTV and the Food Network. The transaction values the combined entity at about $130 billion, including debt. Now, that's the important part.
Wow.
Based on Warner Media's estimated enterprise value of more than $90 billion. AT&T will receive $43 billion in cash, debt securities. So debt securities basically means, it's a little bit annoying, but essentially Discovery is going to also purchase some of their debt to relieve that. Debt retention with its shareholders getting stock and representing. So shareholders are going to get 71% of the new company. So here's what's interesting. There's two ways of looking at this.
Right.
The one way of looking at it is, hey, this is great for Discovery. They are nowhere near as big as Warner Media.
Right.
It looks good for Discovery because their stock went up when this was announced. Whose stock didn't go up, dipped a little bit, was AT&T, because this makes AT&T look a little bit weak when they're trying to get rid of. They're basically trying to be this big powerhouse, and I think they realize that maybe they don't have the skills as a telecom company. This is just me, assuming, to do entertainment and media. So they're not selling it off completely. They're going to be working together. I think they're going to form a new company that will run Warner Media. And this is what falls under Warner Media. I mean, this will all be under that banner. You got TNT, TBS, Cartoon Network, HBO, Warner Brothers, CNN, for the 5 people who still watch that, Adult Swim, and the one at the bottom right-hand corner, DC Comics.
Yeah.
The rumors I have heard is that they're losing a lot of money in printing DC Comics as people aren't reading comics in general. Marvel or DC. And there is a possibility, again, this is just rumor, that they may just do away with print comics altogether, which would be sad. I hope that doesn't happen.
No, they won't do that. No way.
You don't think so?
No. So a few things. I would actually argue that comics are having a bit of a revival. I think Marvel is really struggling comic wise. They are really, really struggling. They're having a really hard time. But actually, DC has been pretty okay. Yeah. I don't know if they've been struggling comic-wise, but they've been getting a lot of good attention around their comic. They just had the Future State. Now they're in the Infinite State or whatever, the next version of that. A lot of people are responding to the new versions. For example, we're going to be reading on a new show coming Fridays called Knights of the Comic Roundtable with me and Ty. Dun, 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 dun. But we'll be reading from DC's new slate, the next Batman, and also and they've got a Nightwing comic out by Tom Taylor that's doing really well right now. A Robin comic. So things are doing well. Superman's being kind of reworked also in the comics.
Do you think the reworking might be a sign that numbers are dropping? Because every time numbers have dipped in comic book sales, they'll do something crazy like the New 52 or like something crazy where they got. Because what I've also heard, and again, these are rumors. This is not from a Variety or from any major news publication. Right. That they might cut down on the ancillary characters. So your big guys, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, all of them, they stick around. But smaller characters, lesser characters who have their own comics might get cut. And
we'll see.
Which is a little bit scary because comic book collecting can be expensive. When I was in high school, I was spending over $120. Of course, my parents were paying for it. $120 a month. Yeah, for comics. Because you start with 1, you read 2, you read 3, then you're collecting like 20 different titles. And I guess
even nowadays, keeping up with it, if you're reading more than one trade, at a time, you got comics are coming out now every week, every 2 weeks. The DC stuff, they try to break it up every couple of weeks, and some of the other things I read, like Berserker, I think is about like once a month. But still, it can be very expensive. It can be a very costly hobby. But I think they are having a bit of a resurgence. I'm hearing a lot of good things. And also these shows like Invincible and The Boys, people are realizing like, oh, these are comics too. And so they're going back and they're starting to read some of these comics, and so I would hope to think that the DC comics will stick around. But as far I don't think he would go as far as to get rid of DC comics. I mean, it seems like this guy David Zaslav has a pretty good from what it sounds like. It seems like he understands the worth of DC and DC Comics. AT&T didn't merge Warner. They sold it because it's not. That's right. It's not going to be a merger. For example, Jason Keelar, he's out. Right. Yeah. He's one of the guys that's out. And he was He came from the AT&T.
We didn't say they merged though, did we? No, we said they're divesting Warner Media. That's a different thing.
Yeah, I didn't. But right. But so I think he understands. There's a lot of properties. Okay, for example, this was the thing that he put out. Right, they have the largest library of content with over 200,000 hours of video content. Mm-hmm. They have they want to make themselves available in 220 plus countries. That's a big thing HBO Max hasn't been able to do. Yeah, and that's be worldwide. That's be global. And obviously you saw the issues with the Snyder Cut. There was a big thing of like, okay,
my bad.
It's there's a big thing with the Snyder Cut where people were having to figure out new ways to watch it. It wasn't on HBO Max, so it was on Sky or whatever, or Now, or all these other things.
No, hold on, stop. I gotta stop right there. What I said is AT&T merges Warner Media and Disco. That's what I wrote. Damn it, Charlie, you're making me
Disco. Disco. That's right.
I said AT&T merging Warner Media, and I was like, shit, did I actually write that? Pardon my.
I actually like what Andrew says. No, it was smurge. It was a smurge. So they want to get themselves out into 220 plus countries in over 50 languages. This was the big one, right? Over the course over a year, they want to spend $20 billion on content, on streaming and creative content.
Charlie, don't apologize. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I just don't want to make him feel bad.
Let's see. AT&T sold Warner Media and it's merging with Discovery to become an entirely new company with something
correct.
Right. That's right. Prakash, what's up, my guy?
Interrupting Austin. I'm so excited for Jiving with Jack. Next week, get here. Sorry, go ahead.
Prakash, love you, dude. Always good to see you in the chat. So, anyways, $20 billion a year for content and streaming. They bring up in this picture here. Obviously, you have all the like channels and TLC stuff. They actually named some of the IP that they find worth. So you got Lord of the Rings, Matrix, Harry Potter, Sex and the City, Looney Tunes, Sesame Street, Game of Thrones. Let's see, Sopranos, Succession, Scooby Doo. And then in big old black and white, right there in the center, is not anybody else's Justice League. It is Zack Snyder's Justice League. Yes, sir. So they have a little graphic here. I don't know. You can kind of see it. God bless the phone. And there it is.
The power of 4K StreamYard.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, we lost you for a second. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. But
it almost looked like Justice for a second. We couldn't see anything.
So that interested me was that it was they specifically are using that picture. They're talking about that Justice League.
Yeah.
And another thing David came out and said, and this was a big thing for me, is he said our number one priority will be restoring relationships. And
let's kind of pivot to what I think everyone here is really talking about. What does this mean for the Snyderverse? Now, a lot of YouTubers, not us, have been saying like, oh, this is all happening because of Zack Snyder, which is not true.
Right.
However, I will not doubt that the way Warner Brothers, more specifically Warner Brother Pictures, has behaved was one of many reasons that AT&T has been frustrated, I think, with how Warner Media has gone forward. Because AT&T, they're not comic book fans. They don't really care. They just want to know what makes me money.
Right. These are business people.
What makes you money? And if they're looking at the leadership of Warner Brothers, if they're looking at whoever, Walter Amano, they're like, okay, so this thing came out in March. It made money. It broke HBO Max in the United States. It crashed streaming services on the United States, and you're not moving forward with that? Why?
They
don't care.
Now, look,
they're like, hey, why are we making more money?
This guy was an executive for NBC Universal for over 20 years, as well, before taking over Discovery. So he
Wait, hold on a
understands.
second. He went from NBC Universal to Discovery.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry,
This is NBC
and I
Universal
would say
now owned by Comcast.
Discovery has done pretty well. Obviously they're no HBO or Netflix or anything like that, but they have a very, as you can see, a very large library. Food Network, TLC, HGTV, all of these different things that appeal to a very specific audience. That I think they're already at 50 million subscribers, which they started out in
crazy. I never thought about that because I thought Discovery Channel, like, they're probably popular, but not that big.
Right. And they started out, I think Discovery Plus started, in February or March or whatever. And that's not bad at all. It's not bad at all.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe AT&T is looking at them like, first of all, it's very much possible they're looking at this guy who used to run NBC Universal, and they see talent there, that this is a guy who knows how to grow a company. Look, to get 15 million subscribers for the Discovery Channel,
that's right,
in a few months,
big.
AT&T is probably looking at that growth. And they're like, that's the kind of growth we want. I mean, it was kind of a disaster with Zack Snyder's Justice League. The entire world's like, hey, we kind of want to watch this movie too. It's not just America wants to watch it. How can we? And they had to figure out at the last second, how do we distribute this movie that hundreds of millions of people want to watch worldwide? They didn't know how to do it. And I think AT&T, now, this could be good for the Snyderverse, I think. Maybe. What do you think?
I do. That we'll have to see, right? I'm actually bringing up an article here so I can read a little bit of it. This is from the Hollywood Reporter.
Okay.
This is David Zaslav on Warner Media deal. Relationships with talent will be #1 priority. AT&T CEO and Discovery CEO David shared the reasons and visions for the mega combination of their companies' media businesses in a joint venture unveiled early Monday during a press conference. Let's see. So Zaslav said that he will lead the combined company once the deal closes. Under the terms of the deal, AT&T will spin off entertainment arm Warner Media and combine it with Discovery, creating a TV, film, and streaming powerhouse. AT&T's Warner Media owns the likes of Warner Bros. Okay, all the stuff that we know, right?
Yeah.
We think together the combination makes us the best media company in the world, Zaslav said Monday, noting that the combined company will spend $20 billion on content. We will be one company, one culture, one mission, great stories, great content that entertains people in every country around the world. Saying that as of right now, we know Jason Kilar is negotiating his exit. But as of right now, he's still the CEO of Warner Media. And Zaslav is the one who will be making decisions on personnel. He will make the decisions on Toby.
I read
Hamada,
something else
Sarnoff.
about. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because here's the thing: the business world can be brutal. And here, this is what Variety is saying. Discovery CEO David Zaslav would be atop the combined venture. Warner Media CEO would be tasked with leading the company's direct-to-consumer charge. So I don't know if he's being let go for his position is changing within the company.
Well,
he won't be Warner's CEO anymore because that's going to be gone. But
no, Jason's negotiating his exit. He is negotiating.
Oh, really?
It's been confirmed he's negotiating his exit out of Warner Media.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people like Jason, and because he has been, supportive of the Snyder Cut, and he's been very kind and all that. But let's be real honest here, guys. He has not done that well with HBO Max. They're a year old. They should be higher up in numbers. You see things like Disney Plus. Now, here's the thing. Disney Plus has made it to over 100 million subscribers with only things like Star Wars and Marvel, HBO has DC.
With 3 shows, maybe 4.
Yeah. And HBO has, all of these properties, all of these IPs, The Matrix, DC, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. I mean, just a crazy amount of stuff. That they do have. I mean, they can absolutely compete with these guys. But in that year's time, not only were they not able to compete with it, they faced a lot of criticism. Not only, of course, with the Snyder Cut and all that, they faced a lot of criticism from filmmakers and directors when they announced that their slate was going to be released on HBO Max and theaters simultaneously. They have done a lot in this 3-year time of being owned by AT&T. Warner Brothers has gone from the place, it's been this way for over almost 100 years now, Warner Brothers is the place of the filmmaker. It's the place where you get to go as a creative. They support you. They support your vision. And in those last couple of years, that has been completely soiled.
Not only to mention that, I mean, it from an outsider's perspective, from not my perspective, it kind of seems sad that the biggest thing they've done is a movie that's 4 years old. I mean, now for us Snyder fans, that's great because we know how important this movie is. But if you're a stockholder or you're AT&T, like, how is it that this thing is more popular than? Yeah, you should be worried.
You should be worried if you're a stockholder, you're a shareholder in this. And you know, we talked about it ourselves. You know, we consume the content. We're technical. We have a stake in this. And you know, how many DC films in the last 3 or 4 years have gotten good reviews? Snyder's Justice League.
Actually, Birds of Prey got good reviews.
I'm trying to think. Joker. That's
Shazam did. Shazam got good
okay, reviews. You know what? Maybe
but
you know what? Never mind.
Aquaman. Actually, all their recent movies, but they, with the exception of Aquaman.
Listen, in the meantime, we got Wonder Woman in 1984 in the middle of
that. I forgot about that one. Yeah. I think right now what they're seeing is if I were a stockholder in AT&T, my question would be, let's say I don't read comics or give a crap. I'm like, looking at the numbers for Zack Snyder's Justice League. I'm like, wait, why aren't we following up with this? Why are we doing a black Superman? I mean, that's all cool. That's all woke and all in social justice. That's great. Yeah. But why? We already have a Superman who right now is killing it with Netflix right now with his own TV show. He's young. He's handsome. He has more star power now than he did a decade ago. Why? You know, they look at these things and then they are the board at Warner Brothers has to answer to them, be like, and they don't have a good answer. So look, this didn't come out of nowhere. This has probably been talked about for months. You know, these type of deals, they don't happen like over like, hey, let me give a call to Discovery. They've been talking about this for a very long time. And this kind of, you know, the last week or so, you know, you guys talked about this. Zach has been pretty cavalier about his attitude towards Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Do you think he knew something? You know, like they're on their way out.
I think, and from what I heard, I don't know if this is confirmed or not. From what I heard, Zach was aware that there's going to be a change in hierarchy.
Ooh.
So
I'm getting shivers.
Woohoo!
I should probably turn the AC off. That's why. All
right. But yeah. So you know, I think it's definitely an interesting thing. We'll see. It seems like this Zaslav dude is very aware. Let me just also read another part of this article. Zaslav also seemed aware of some of the criticism Warner Media faced in recent months from high-profile Hollywood talent, many of whom felt blindsided by the decision to release Warner Brothers films on HBO Max the same day they were released in theaters. Discovery CEO said that his number one priority will be building relationships with the creative community, that he plans to spend time in Los Angeles, New York, and anywhere else that talent is based. I'll be anywhere in the world the creatives are to strive to create the best creative culture. We want our company to be a place where people that want creativity, they want flexibility, they want stories, they'll come to us. That's what Warner was. Over the course of 3 years, they have destroyed, soiled, and killed that reputation. They've AT&T's ran the company into the ground. And now we're in a position where you are seeing Zack Snyder, Martin Scorsese, Christopher Nolan.
Losing Nolan was a big thing.
They messed up.
They really screwed up with that.
Thing that they were going to mess up on while we're on this too, and since they've, as far as what I've heard, and I don't know if there's been an update because actually I heard update. Yeah, no. So I guess maybe they'll make some decisions because I really hope Dune, from what I heard, you know, I'm hoping Dune gets an exclusive theatrical release.
Yeah. What's his name? Denis
Villeneuve is very, you know, he's not happy with Warner. Look, this movie was massive. It was like a $200 million budget. This guy has spent his career basically preparing to do. This is his dream film. This is the movie he's wanting.
He did Blade Runner sequel that was really good. I was like,
he did a Blade Runner sequel 30 years later that was, in my opinion, better than the original.
I agree. Don't tell anyone I said that.
The first one is A masterpiece. A
Mm.
masterpiece. Maybe we'll have a Blade Runner watch party sometime.
Ooh, which version? There's like 20 versions of that movie.
The
We'll
final
find all
cut,
of them.
man. The
final
final
cut.
The final
But
cut.
you know, here's a director. Like, I understood why Warner did it last year, but
Right.
I will say this: I will give props to Marvel Studios for not releasing Black Widow. They're like, nope,
They held
this
out.
is a $1 billion movie.
They held out, but they
They held
know
out.
their fan base.
It probably
They
cost
know
them
their
money. Yeah.
They know their fan base, and guess what? They knew that people were willing to wait, that they will wait, and look at the anticipation that grew over that time, right? No Marvel content for over a year. The first thing that hits is WandaVision, and it's one of the biggest freaking things ever, and it's not that good of a show.
I was just about to say that, but I was like,
it's not that good of a show, but people were raving. I was raving about it, Jack. Why? Because I hadn't seen anything Marvel for a year and a half.
Yeah.
So I was just sitting there.
Wait till the first Jack attack. It's going to be pretty brutal. But yeah, it wasn't that good, but people are hungry for it because I still watched it. I was still anticipating each episode because we were hungry for that content. Right. Yeah, props to Disney for doing that. And I think if this guy ran NBC Universal, which is now owned by Comcast, who I love because they give me internet. And I'm from Philly, man. Comcast started in Philly. This will be someone who, based on the statements that you're reading, is looking in the right direction. I hope Loki is good. Wait till my Jack attack, because I think Loki will be good. I think Loki might be the best show. Tyler's been saying that for a while. Tyler's been saying, I think this is the one people are probably like downplaying. But that might be the best one.
Prakash just throws up on Marvel.
Yeah, I mean, look, if these decisions are coming, then chances are someone has spoken to Zach. Because Zach was getting a little too, he's like, hey, Warner Brothers is very anti-Snyder. I'm like, dude, shut up. Stop
Warner
talking.
Brothers sucks. They hate me.
I'm like, they're not going to hire you now.
They're torturing me. I'm like,
yeah, I mean, I was shocked. I'm like, damn. My theory was that they might have had a conversation. We were like, dude, we're not moving forward with what your thing is. We're moving forward with Black Superman.
Whatever.
And Robert Pattinson's Vengeance, Batman.
Right.
And we're going to do whatever the hell else they have coming out.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you know, that very well could be that like they just
Prakash, Tuesday, next week. Wait till you see my Jack attack. Sorry,
but yeah, you know, I don't know. We'll see. I think
I would say I have more hope today than I did
absolutely
a week ago.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I will say some hope has been restored in a sense.
Restored.
I will say that I'm definitely interested to see. You know, like I said, obviously this guy David, he's the man in charge now. And what have I been saying for all this time? Get rid of Toby, and you take care of a lot of problems. Well, this is the guy.
I think Walter's going to be gone too.
That will get rid of Toby, and maybe he'll get rid of Walter. I'd be pretty surprised if Walter's gone. Actually,
they might. Again, the stockholders at AT&T like, hey, why did you fight this Joker movie, which became the first $1 billion R-rated movie? Why aren't we making more stuff like this?
He also produced Aquaman and Shazam.
True, but Shazam didn't make that much money. I mean, it made enough.
They're hits. Shazam not only made money, but it was massively critically acclaimed.
Yeah. But it didn't make like $400 million. I think it made like 200 or 300 million, but it was a low budget movie, and that's fine. I love Shazam. Has probably been my favorite DC property aside from Zack Snyder's Justice League that came out in the last couple of years.
Right.
I really enjoyed it. That was a movie that knew its audience and knew its source material.
It did. I really did also enjoy Shazam. Prakash, I wish people nitpicked Marvel the same way. Prakash, if they did that, then Civil War would have been panned by critics. That I would love to hear some opinions about, because Civil War, in my opinion, is really good. There's issues, but it ain't. There's a lot worse, especially in the DC universe.
I think Civil War is better than the Winter Soldier. Oh boy, who said that?
They're both. Those are probably the highest Marvel for me. I love the whole thriller.
Yeah.
You know, they turn a superhero movie into a thriller.
Yeah.
Winter
Soldier. A spy thriller. Yeah. Oh yeah, I love
spy thriller.
The only reason Civil War beats it out for me is that the third act was not predictable. Whereas like Winter Soldier, you kind of knew like, okay, they got to stop with the day.
Yeah, that
but the
third
beauty
act
part
gets
about
pretty
Civil
wild.
War is that it's no longer about the Sokovia Accords. It's about these two men and what happened with their parents. Like,
right. And how are they gonna flesh that out? You know, how are
and
they
they
gonna...
didn't. That was the beauty of Infinity War.
Right,
Could you imagine Infinity War comes out, they don't meet, and they don't. Tony and Cap don't meet in Infinity War.
That's what I liked about. I liked that.
Both
I thought
movies
it was
back
cool.
to back were just so damn good.
Yeah. I would love to explain to you why you're wrong about Civil War and Winter Soldier. Please type away.
Yes,
we'll wait. No. Let's see. I honestly wasn't impressed with the Captain America movies. I wasn't impressed with the first Captain America movie, actually.
See, I thought I actually liked that first one. I think my issue, if I have an issue with Winter Soldier, is that I'm thinking a lot of people who watch comic movies have never actually seen other political thrillers or spy thrillers.
Right.
And when they watch it in a Marvel movie, they're like, oh my God, that was amazing. And I'm like, well, you know, there are other movies that have done this, which is part of what I'm going to say about Falcon and the Winter Soldier when we get to that. But you know what? I always said that if you take the Russo brothers out of the MCU, you would have a very okay franchise. If you didn't have them in there to shake things up, I don't think. Could you imagine Avengers 3?
And I'll be honest with you,
by
too.
Joss Whedon.
I say this a lot, too. Doctor Strange. Look, bringing in somebody like Scott Dickerson to do Doctor Strange, I think was genius. And you can even tell that Marvel, you know, held him back a little bit because he wanted to do some horror things with that, and it was a little restrained. I think Marvel kind of got a hint halfway through that they needed people to,
especially after Age of Ultron.
Yeah, that was it. DC has better characters and storylines. It's just DC is under one of the worst, man. I agree that they're under bad management, but here's the thing, man. I'm not one of those people, right? They're both great. First of all, DC and Marvel have copied each other for the past 50, 60 years.
Yeah.
Straight up. They have been copying each other back and forth and back and borrowing character and borrowing power and borrowing all these different. And you know what, man? For me, you know, I have characters I like. I probably Batman ranks number one for me. He's from the DC, but Deadpool is number two, man. He's from Marvel. You know,
that's Marvel how I feel. I really don't play favorites. Really, like, Batman is my favorite, but like, I
can't play favorites. They're both great companies that have so much fun characters and storylines and stuff. And you know, I just think there is no one that's better than the other for me because it's all a copycat. Even Stan Lee, you know, has come out and been like, yeah, man, we've been copying you stuff. That's the fun of comic books, man. That's the fun of writing this. Is we're
all you're doing is you're making the case for Captain America.
Hold on, let's start from the beginning. Here we go.
Sorry.
All right. If all Team Captain America beat Team Iron Man or vice versa, Zemo's plan would have failed. If Iron Man showed up alone as a friend, honoring the accords he agreed to, Zemo's plan would have failed. If Iron Man didn't show up at the exact same time as Captain America's Zemo's plan, the government criticized the Avengers from New York when they sent a freaking missile to New York.
Oh yeah,
the Accords were
the whole
because was proving Bucky's innocence. I'm explaining the plot holes of the movie.
Oh yeah, the movie's incredibly. Have you seen the honest trailer for it when they say that it's actually just as bad as BVS in terms of like plot holes and like quick cut to the airport scene. No, I'm not denying that. That could be a good quick dip if we ever do one about Civil War.
Ooh.
Because it wasn't about the Accords. Because here's the thing, Cap was 100% right. The whole point of superhero teams like the X-Men, the Avengers, the Justice League is that you cannot trust governments to do the right thing. I mean, at the end of the movie, everyone has broken the Sokovia Accords, including Black Panther and Cap and Iron Man. Right. But back then, those are legit points. I agree. I just really enjoy that movie.
Yeah, I do. And also, you know,
and here's the thing: if
you're gonna do that, if you're gonna do that, man, we can do that to every movie. Mm-hmm. We can do that.
If Batman had just stopped Joker in the first half of the movie, we wouldn't need to watch it for another hour and a half. You know, you can do that a lot. Obviously, there's a lot of plot conveniences in these movies. But I will say this about DC. I will give props to Warner Brothers for originally giving Zack Snyder the keys to the kingdom. Because I don't think Marvel would ever make a movie like Batman vs. Superman. They would never make a movie like Joker. I could argue the most Marvel has done in terms of pushing the limit has not been Marvel Studios. It's been Fox with Deadpool, with Logan, with even X-Men too. Like, all right, let's push. Let's see how far we can take Wolverine. Let's make an R-rated Wolverine movie. Let's make an R-rated Joker movie in which there is no Batman. There's no action. There's no stuff blowing up.
Yeah.
I don't think Marvel would ever do that. And the only time they have, again, is when Fox had control. When they had Deadpool, they pushed the buttons.
We'll see. I'm really hoping Marvel uses this opportunity with Hulu that they have. I mean, they own Hulu.
Yeah.
So, use it, man. Use it. We are going to get a MODOK stop-action series on Hulu that's produced by Jason Blum.
Blumhouse.
Blumhouse. And he's said he's talked to Feige loves the show. He said he's open to if it's to be a part of the universe or not. We'll see. I think Feige will probably learn soon enough, and probably with Deadpool 3 will be his first lesson as to how incredibly popular these characters and these properties can be when you make them for adults. Because here's the thing, man. A lot of these people, right, you think about, they read comics in the 90s or the 80s when they were kids, when they were teenagers. They're in their 40s or 50s now. So they want to see these guys, not for the little kid versions. I mean, sure, they'll take their kids to the little bit. They want to see Deadpool, man.
Yeah.
Deadpool made $1 billion. And you know what?
No, it didn't. It did. It made a lot, but it didn't make $1 billion yet.
It didn't make $1 billion yet. Right?
No. They both made like $800 million, though. Yeah. The first R-rated movie to make $1 billion and the only R-rated movie to make $1 billion was The Joker. Or just Joker. But here's the thing.
Wow.
I have a feeling
Logan didn't cross $1 billion?
Wow. No. Because here's the thing. The reason they can't cross $1 billion is because MCU, you have the adults going and you have a lot of children going. With an R-rated movie, you can't get those kids to come out because their parents won't let them. That's why I think, even though they've been saying that Disney is working on Deadpool 3 with Ryan Reynolds, it's been years.
Yeah.
And we haven't heard anything. We keep hearing it's coming. And I think they're like, crap. How do we do this without kicking kids out? Alienating the kids, because then they may not come to see Captain Marvel 2 if they think, if this is the way Marvel's going. So I think Deadpool will kind of be a standalone movie. Deadpool will be connected to the MCU the way the Netflix shows were, where they're in the MCU, but you're not going to see other people popping in because they don't want it to cross-promote whenever they do Avengers 4 Avengers 5. I think that, or they're going to make it PG-13. Even though they say they're going to make it R-rated, I do not trust Disney with a 10-foot pole. They'll probably make an R-rated movie and then edit it and make it PG-13.
Yeah, if they do a PG-13 Deadpool,
even if they do a PG-13 Deadpool, they could still do a lot of vulgar sex humor in PG-13, but they'll cut that out too.
But it'll be screwed. It'll still be because you already have. It's like the Blade franchise. Well, that's why I don't understand why they're reverting to PG-13 when you had 2 successful R-rated or 3 successful R-rated movies.
Yeah.
And especially now that audience has grown. You've seen with promotion and the things Disney can do. They can make an $800 million Blade movie.
Yeah.
They can make an $800 million Deadpool movie.
If you take
I think you're right. It's about the first time that somebody sees that specific MCU intro with Deadpool right behind it. They're gonna go, I'm not gonna go see the rest because this is the way it's going, or what?
Exactly, and that's I think what they're worried about.
I hate when people say DC is dark and gritty, as if the real world is all hope and rainbows. That is true. I've always said, but I have always said DC is darker and gritty. DC is far more darker and gritty than Marvel, and that's because DC is more, in my opinion, more representative of the real world.
Yeah, I mean, there's some really dark X-Men comics. Daredevil can get dark, but they wouldn't show that on film. That's the thing.
Daredevil
can get pretty dark, man.
Daredevil, Punisher, and all that. But DC, man, there are some. I don't know. I guess dark in not the sense of violence or blood or in that sense, but just the themes. The themes that these characters, the themes that Batman deals with.
Yeah.
The themes that the DC characters as a whole, that you get into Joker and the psychology of Joker, you get into even the psychology of Superman in some of these comics and these things of does he consider himself a god or not? Does he consider himself to have the right or the power to say what's right or wrong? So I think Zack Snyder doesn't make dark tones. He just makes realistic tones per the situation. Interesting. I don't know. I would say Zach's tones are pretty dark, but that's also the style of a filmmaker. You know,
Yeah.
Go watch any of David Fincher's movies.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna see anything that looks like
Yeah.
bright red. But Zach has that style as well, that kind of tone, but it's more stylized. It feels more. You obviously see he's got his slow-mo stuff that he loves, or those quick forward shots.
Yeah.
And like from Watchmen. So I would say it is dark. It's just very stylized. It's incredibly stylized. He's very distinct as a filmmaker. He's very distinct. But it's a Snyder film.
Yeah.
You know it's a Snyder film once you see the color palette. Just like you know it's a Fincher film once you see the color palette.
Yeah.
You know it's a Christopher Nolan film once you see the color palette. When you can't understand
the audio, yes.
When you cannot understand the audio, Tenet.
Or Bane.
Right. What's that? What's that line? Break your spine.
Or when Christian Bale's like, he must have friends.
Right. Yeah, man.
Where were the other drugs going?
I was born with the mouth on my face. What's that? I always love that line. I know it's serious, but that line in the beginning is so funny to me, where they're like, "So what happens if I remove the mask?" And he's like, "It'd be very painful." And I was just like, "What?" Which Superman do you like more, Cavill from Man of Steel or Tyler from Superman? I haven't really watched a lot of Tyler. I don't think I've seen.
They're two very different Supermans. Tyler's Superman is very much the Chris Reeve kind of like smiles and all that. Right. Yeah, I mean, I would go with Cavill's because I think it's a more nuanced performance.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with Cavill. I love Cavill as Superman, man, especially in like Zack Snyder's Justice League, and he comes back and Steppenwolf hits him, and he's just not impressed. And then that like so like subtle like fly up and then kick that was like, oh man.
Isn't it crazy how Warner Brothers executives never saw that? They didn't see it until he actually showed them the rough cut. It's like, wait, so you never watched the movie either?
You never watched it, and you came out and said, nope, it's so bad, we cannot release it.
Oh, my God. Oh, boy.
You're telling me you thought that was going to be... Bro, everybody should be fired. David, fire everyone.
Yep.
Fire everyone.
Fire everyone. Listen, speaking of big franchises in Disney... this lovely lady, Kathleen Kennedy, who's the head of Lucasfilm, her contract is up in a year, and the running theory is that she is not going to be renewed. Rumors have been swirling, and I say rumors, that her and Jon Favreau had been butting heads about where to take Star Wars. And fans were not happy with the sequel trilogy, but they like The Mandalorian. They like Dave Filoni's style. They like the Bad Batch. They like,
So I'm just gonna come out and say this. I think whoever is saying that she's gonna be replaced or fired or her whatever,
or let her contract end.
Yeah, I think anybody who is saying that Kathleen Kennedy is gonna be replaced is a big old troll who doesn't really know what they're talking about. I'll just put it out there. I'll put it out there.
Well, why do you say that? Why do you say that?
Let me tell you why, Jack. This woman has brought back to life the Star Wars franchise. I don't care what anybody says. And I am not a fan of the sequel trilogy besides The Last Jedi. It's the only one that I like, and that I think
that's the one that might have killed it. But go ahead.
Nope, not at all. But no matter what you say, all of those movies made $1 billion. Besides Solo. Solo was the only one. It was, she hired Favreau and Filoni.
Mm-hmm.
She did to do The Mandalorian and to do those things. She is in this business. You need somebody like her, period. You need somebody like her around because she is the business side of Star Wars, where you have, John and Dave are running it creatively and doing really, really well. Fans are really responding to it. Kathleen's not really, I don't know who's saying Kathleen is stopping them because Mando season 3, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka's coming.
Well, here's the thing. All that was revealed in the last year after The Rise of Skywalker didn't make that much money. There was very little. I mean, it still made $1 billion.
Right.
But it didn't make the money they were hoping for it to make. Solo crashed. I mean, for a Star Wars movie, dude, Attack of the Clones made money and Solo crashed.
But
a lot of these shows
we've gone through this. Nobody wanted Solo. Not one person in the Star Wars
she agreed
fandom.
with that. Remember, look at it at a business perspective. They're seeing, okay, The Force Awakens comes back, everything's great. And then since then, it's kind of gone down, 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 except for this one TV show that they did. And then the fans are like, hey, what happened to the Bad Batch series we're going to say? Or the Bad Batch. But that all happened.
Rogue One was very good and successful.
Rogue One was very good. But my point is, a lot of that seems to have happened. This stuff was supposed to happen years ago. And now they're like kind of bringing it back, I think, precisely because whatever Kathleen was doing on the film side wasn't working. I wouldn't be surprised if all this stuff is...
Again, maybe it wasn't working, Jack, but they all made over $1 billion. So something maybe agreed. You know, and look, it's like the prequels, man. You know, people were judging. If George listened to everybody, you know, stopped making the movies after the first prequel, you know, that you just got to keep on. People like the franchise. Here's the thing: is like it's gonna make money, and she's the business side of it. You need her around to continue to make these things.
I'll tell you why
to get this
popular.
Film
side, here's the thing: the television side is working, the film side is not. We were supposed to get a Rian Johnson trilogy. That's been cut. The
no, it hasn't.
Ray was supposed to be really. So they're still doing that.
Yep.
Oh God.
We're still doing that.
Oh man.
He's working on the screenplays.
He's still doing that. I heard it was dropped.
It's a trilogy. No, it's still happening. And he's even been talking with Favreau and Filoni to go direct an episode of Mando in the meantime.
Oh my God, he's going to subvert our expectations.
I love it. In today's world, what's the metric of success? BO collections or critic scores?
Yeah, I mean, the first Suicide Squad made a crap ton of money, but was destroyed by critics. And Batman vs Superman, I think it was both, because they expected that movie to make $1 billion easy. It made $800 million, which is like what Thor Ragnarok made. I think it's a combination of both.
Yep.
Because let's say Batman vs Superman made $870 million or whatever it made, but got good reviews. They would say, okay, well, we just started. People like it though. But everyone went crazy because it didn't do well, and
backtracked.
The backtracked, yeah.
Issue with the sequel trilogy was multiple director. That's right. That's exactly what it was. And she probably understands that now. You have to understand, Kathleen Kennedy, she's not there just because. She's not just some chick. She is the hand-chosen heir to Lucasfilm by George Lucas himself.
Yeah.
So she ain't getting fired. Whoever's saying that, they're wrong.
I'm not saying get fired. They might not renew her contract.
I don't see that happening. George Lucas is the one he sold the company with it in there that she has to run it.
Yeah, but she has a contract. At the end of the day, it's up to Disney because he doesn't own Star Wars anymore. That's the thing.
No, but I don't see him. Look, he's being real cooperative right now. He's on the sets of The Mandalorian. He's working with Favreau and Filoni. He's kind of getting back involved. I do not. And the fans like that. The fans want that right now. They do that, George is out, guaranteed. I guarantee it. He is. That's what I'm saying. People don't understand. Why did he refer
after the fact?
People
after
don't
the Force
understand.
Awakens comes out. Why did he refer to Disney as the white slavers? In that interview he did with oh my God, what's that guy? Charlie Rose.
Hold on, does Kathleen work for Disney or Lucasfilm? She works for Lucasfilm, which is owned by Disney. Yeah. Understandable. But he was out of the company. But here's the thing: end of the day, he wants her running the company. Period. That's George's pretense.
That was the case maybe 7 years ago. I don't know if that's the case. I don't think, first of all, he cares anymore. Like in that Charlie Rose interview, he's like, whatever.
Yeah, that was a few years ago. But now he's back on set of The Mandalorian.
I know, but I don't think him wanting Kathleen means anything. It's not like he's going to give the $4 billion back and get back Star Wars. It's out of his hands now.
No.
Now it's owned by Disney.
Right, but he can get in there and get his story. So look, Kathleen wasn't the one who came up with the story for the sequel trilogy. She's just the person that
she greenlit it because
she hired, and she hired the people. Yes,
she hired the people. So J.J. Abrams basically pulled a Lost. We're like, we're gonna have a lot of these mysteries in the first episode, and we'll figure it out as we're going along, just like he did with Lost. He did. He's like, oh, we're gonna mystery.
Right.
I don't have the answer yet. I'm gonna see how it goes along, and then was completely shocked when they killed Snoke. And he's like, oh. I mean, the fact that they did not plan this out, especially when you have the MCU on the other side that plans everything out very well, shows me some level of incompetence. So I wouldn't be surprised if after a year they give her a send-off. They won't say they're firing her, but they're like, oh, we want to thank Kathleen for years of service, blah, blah, blah. She'll go back and work with Spielberg like she used to. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
I doubt it. I highly doubt it. She has literally, you know, I don't care what anybody says. She's brought Star Wars back to life. She's brought it back to a $1 billion franchise, and that is because of her.
Hold on a second. Let's say Lucas never sells Lucasfilm to Disney. Are you telling me that if Lucas made Star Wars Episode 8, it wouldn't have made $1 billion on his own?
I probably would have.
It would have.
I'm not saying it
would
would have.
dying for it. It still would have.
I'm saying he would have. He just didn't.
I could have been running Lucasfilm, and it would have made $1 billion.
Oh no! That's no. I mean, all love to Ty, but no. That's like That's like it's like No, I'm gonna be careful. But it's
All right. I want to get to GTA 5 real quick, but first things first. We have some ads.
Ooh.
And
Sponsor time.
Real quick. We'll be back right now. Right back. We'll be back eventually, at some point. We have too many ads. Here we go.
We are brought to you today by Showcase Cinemas Deluxe. Right now, Mortal Kombat is in theaters, and we were live from inside the theater for all-day coverage of the film on April 23rd. Make sure to get out and support your local theaters now. See these larger-than-life movies the way they were intended, on the largest screen possible. Showcase offers X+, which is their large premium format theater. Not only do you see and hear the film, but you become a part of it as well. Find out where your local Showcase Cinemas is by heading to their website, www.showcasecinemas.com. Again, that's www.showcasecinemas.com, or by clicking the link in the description below. Remember, be Showcase safe. Showcase has implemented several protocols to ensure that your focus remains on the film, not on the pandemic, including new ventilation systems in each theater to ensure proper airflow, sanitizer on every wall, and so much more. Enjoy the movie the way it was meant to be. We are brought to you today by Kai CBD, a Las Vegas-based health and wellness brand that crafts a full-spectrum CBD hemp-derived product line. Made with 100% love, the brand was created by a 20-year licensed massage therapist for her husband who suffers from chronic pain. Healing is what Kai lives for. Head over to their Facebook or Instagram and mention Pop Culture Corner to receive 10% off your order of all or any of their CBD-derived product line. Guys, their website is in the works. Head over to their Facebook or Instagram. The links are in the description below. Mention Pop Culture Corner and get 10% off. This ad is an easy one for me. Easy, as I use the products myself. They are wonderful. So head over, mention Pop Culture Corner, and get 10% off your order of all orders forever. We are brought to you today by Smooth My Balls. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, are you sick of cutting yourself, nipping yourself with those old razors that you've used 412 different times? Well, Smooth My Balls has you covered. Your number one source for male grooming products. Dedicated to providing you the very best trimmers with an emphasis on service, friendliness, and overall good experiences. Smooth My Balls has come a long way from its beginnings in England. When they first started out, their passion was for male grooming. That drove them to start their own business and to find the best products suitable for easy grooming. You will thank me later, your privates will thank me later, and your partner will thank me later, because you're gonna be smooth as an egg. Trust me. Use code POP at checkout for 15% off your entire order. Limit one order per household per day. Guys, girls, get on it. Shave up. Get it. We are brought to you today by Bonk's Bar in Philadelphia. Bonk specializes in seafood and good times. If you're in the Philly area, make sure to stop by, and on Tuesdays, our resident producer Jack hosts trivia at the bar. Mention Pop Culture Corner to Jack and receive your first drink on the house. For more information about the menu or specials, visit the website for Bonks or their social media pages. All of the links are in the description below. This was an easy one, guys. Head out, support your local service industry. Go to Bonks, grab some seafood, some beer and wine, play some trivia, and have a good time.
And we're back. That's right, folks. If you stop by Bonks today, I will buy you a drink. That's where I'm headed to after the show. Oh, boy.
Ooh.
So, listen, before we move on to Grand Theft Auto, just a reminder, folks, if you are new, check out our merchandising store. We have sweatshirts. We have wife beaters. We have sweatshirts for women. We have hoodies. We have masks. Oh, look at that. Jive with Jack t-shirts.
Whoa.
Ooh, look at that color scheme. Look at that. We have coffee mugs. We have masks. Remember, if you have not been vaccinated, you still need to mask up according to the CDC. But look at that stuff.
Mask up, man.
Folks, links are in the description below. And if you become a patron, you get special discounts and a yearly gift provided by us. Yeah.
Ooh.
Not bad.
Fun. So I was just reading a little bit more on this Warner Media here deal. And basically, guys, just to make everybody aware, right? Because I already know everybody's going to be very excited. I know I am. There is a bit of hope restored for sure. But guys, this is going to be something that we are not going to really know for sure what's happening until about mid 2022. Okay, so this is just the beginning of the deal. What they've started. It's happening. It's in the process. But like the Disney Fox deal, it's going to take about a year to complete. And so right now the mission is be patient, continue to share your support and watch for the Snyderverse and that era. And me and Ty were kind of talking, there is a bit of a time frame, right, to restoring the whole Snyderverse thing.
Yeah.
It's not like they can just do this, 5 years later and go, hey, we're gonna restore the Snyderverse because Ben will be 60. Gal, like all these.
Gal will be 40 in like 5 years, I think.
Right. It's just
Henry's 37, 38. I mean, look, they can still do it, but
sure. Terrible.
Look at Hugh Jackman. Look at Batista's in his 50s. Look how awesome he looks in that show.
Sure. I mean, it could happen, but also I think I don't know that Ben would want to be doing that in his 60s.
Yeah.
Some of these guys wouldn't necessarily. And Zach's got so many other things and projects and things too. That's gonna now it's gonna have to work out with his schedule.
Yeah.
He's got the Army of the Dead universe.
Yeah. To be fair though, every time they've asked him about it, he says he loves these characters and he would love to do more. He's never said, I'm moving on. I think he said
he has never said that. No. But I think it's been pretty clear that he does not want to go back if the Toby's there and all those guys.
Leadership might change. Who knows?
Well, right. We'll see. The leadership will change, and also, I think he would love to go back, but play with those characters. But also, like you said, man, he's got other story. He said, I don't know if you heard, he was going to do a Alexander the Great movie called Blood and Ashes.
And that was supposed to be a part 3 to 300, right?
Right. And I was like, please give me that movie.
Macedonians. Yeah, that would have been kind of cool. A lot better than the Colin Farrell one.
A lot better. But yeah, I mean, he's got things like that. He wants to do a Napoleon Bonaparte script. I mean, things that I very much want to see him, do some stuff outside of DC for a little bit, but at the same time, there's a time frame. Hey
guys, everyone watching, my dad wants to show you this shirt we made. Look at that. Look who that is. Here we go. Move it. There we go. Look at that. That was me at age 10. Right
Hey!
there. My dad found this shirt from 20 years ago.
Now let me tell you something about it. When he
He's
looked
about
like,
to embarrass me.
no, when he was looking like this, day and night, everything was dad, 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 dad. And today, dad, you know nothing. But still, I tell you, this guy cares for me more than anybody else. I really appreciate that.
Oh,
Anything I need, anything, he takes a lot of care of me.
That's why he stood in line for the PlayStation 5.
wow.
You guys were all like, why did he do that? So
Wow, man. Yeah,
No.
you're.
I've told them, they know it. From the day he was born, I said, I can say no to anybody on planet Earth, but I can never say no to my son and to my daughter. Anything they say, I just cannot say no.
I'm just.
But they've never let me down. Never, ever.
yeah, there we go. That's why I have a PS5 and Justice doesn't.
That is one of the most beautiful things
Yeah.
I've ever heard. That was
This is
so
the type of programming you're going to get with Jiving with Jack. My mom's going to come and start hitting me with a shoe. This is just good stuff. Hold on one second.
I'll tell you another story.
Oh, Dad.
Oh yeah.
John was about, at that time,
Uh-oh.
John had just turned
Jack.
10. And his sister had just turned, she's 6 years younger.
6 years, so she was 4.
She was 4. We went to pick them up from school. And at school they said, Dad, we are not going home. I said, okay. Where are we going? He said, just drive. Okay. We drive. He said, go over there to Coney Palmyra Bridge into New Jersey. I said, okay. We go there. She said, turn left over here. And they take me into the biggest Cadillac dealership in the tri-state area. So now the salesman came running to talk to me, and this brother and sister disappeared. While he's talking to us, they come back. They catch my hand and they said, we want to show you something. I said, okay. They take me to a certain car and they said, we are going home in this car today.
Justin says hi. He's watching.
Oh, hi. How are you?
Remember Justin?
Yeah, absolutely. How are you? You look great in your glasses.
My dad knows Justin, yeah. So
Yeah, Justin's a great guy.
Yeah.
So we drove home in that car that day.
Yeah.
You drove home in that car that day?
Yeah.
They told me we are going home in this car.
Yeah.
We are not going home in the other car. So we said, okay.
Yeah.
So we went home in that car.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a true story. Yep. That's actually a true
Wow.
story. Yeah.
Wow.
That's the kind of programming you'll get with Jiving with Jack.
That is too awesome, man. We gotta have a whole segment for your dad. Like he needs
Oh,
his
yeah,
own
yeah.
section.
Oh, man, I don't know if I should tell this story
Oh my
about Justin
God.
and my. All right, how about this? Justin, first episode of Jiving with Jack. I'm going to tell the story when Justin called because my dad's name is also named Justin.
Okay.
And it's a hilarious story because my dad knew Justin, but he didn't remember what his name was. He just knew that he was my friend who stayed with us one time. Because
Right.
Justin was going to college nearby, and his best friend went to college with me. So this is a hilarious story. It's really funny, but I'm going to save it for next Tuesday with Jive with Jack. But Justin, you got to be there for that because it's one of the funniest stories. Justin's heard it a million times. He's sick of it. But yeah, that is an old pic. Yeah,
That was
Justin's
so
got hair
cool,
now.
man. That was
Yeah.
I love that. Your dad needs to drop in more. That was
Oh yeah, Jive with Jack story. Yeah, I love how he kept calling me John because that is my legal name, John.
right.
Yeah, you'll see the show. Yeah, everyone loves
You
my
will-
dad's stories. He's
Man,
got war
that is-
stories, man. If you want to do a Flossing with Austin where we talk about like some of the political stuff going on, he's been in he was in a war. He's been a POW. Yeah, that's stuff we can talk about. Yeah.
I'd love to. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So yeah. So there we go. I thought he wanted something.
Right, yeah.
I just wanted to throw that
Surprise,
shit.
guys. Surprise from Jack's dad.
Speaking of the PlayStation 5, listen, I don't know how many of you are gamers. You play Grand Theft Auto 5, right?
I do. I played the Grand
All right.
Theft of the Auto.
Grand Theft Auto. Okay, so we got Grand Theft Auto 5 in 2013, a few months before the PS4. It was a PS3 game.
Right.
About a year later, they gave us a PS4 version. Yesterday, GTA 6 was trending, and people were like, oh my God, something happening. And what we found out is what we already knew is that Grand Theft Auto 6 or 5 is not happening, but Grand Theft Auto 5 is just being re-released on the
Remastered.
PS5. Yeah,
For
remastered.
The 15th time.
For the 15th time, yeah. And on
yeah,
the Xbox Series X, sorry.
It's funny. I have the 360
Thanks, guys.
version. I have a Xbox One version, and then now apparently I will have an Xbox Series X version. You know, a part of me is very impressed because GTA 5 has really done something no other game's been able to do.
Yeah.
they've stayed alive for 9 years. They continually make money. They continually, the online is continually being updated. It's definitely a money move for sure. But it also kind of makes me concerned. Does this mean GTA 6 is farther off than we think it is?
It must be. I mean, when they released I remember this, 2006 is when they released a trailer for GTA 4. It didn't come out till 2008. 2011 is when they released the first trailer for GTA 5. Didn't come out till 2013.
Yeah.
So whenever they release a teaser for this, they are years away. So
we got about 2 or 3 years to wait.
2 or 3 years, and this game will probably. I mean, did you play Red Dead Redemption 2?
I did play Red. Yes.
It took them 5 years to do all the motion capture for that.
Yeah, exactly.
5 years of filming, because it was like not even a season of TV shows, about 20 hours of television.
Right.
That game had like everything was motion captured.
Hours into that game.
Yeah. Every line of dialogue, like when they're talking to each other, on the horses, it's all they all motion captured that. So they have to, if you're imagining that GTA 5, first of all, it has to be bigger because you're not on horseback. You're riding a freaking car. So the map has to be way bigger. So how many NPCs is that?
I would love to see them add something to the single player, to add on, or I mean, they're gonna have to do something.
I would have loved one more heist with these guys, if as a DLC, even if they charge $20, just one more heist. It could be 10 missions, 8 missions. Okay, you got to get this thing. You know how like every mission in GTA 5, you have to okay, you're robbing a bank. Okay, we need armored trucks, we need armored tires, we need this.
That would be cool. I would love
one mission.
Yeah, like another outside, maybe like a prequel mission or something.
Yeah, but like look, it took them. What did they do? Red Dead Redemption came out in 2018, so that was 3 years ago. That was 5 years in between GTA 5 and Red Dead 2.
Yeah,
but right now they're making so much money over multiplayer, and as Justin is saying, if they don't have single player, look, I know the multiplayer is popular. I know a lot of people play it. A lot of people have fun with it, but I love the single story campaigns. I love the story of Michael, of Trevor. I loved the story of Vice City of what's his name, Tommy Vercetti. Those are pretty cool stories. And like, I guess what kind of worries me is that they're just like, you know what? We don't need to make it because people are still playing it. And maybe they are making, don't get me wrong. They're probably working on it. But
I think they know that their story is a big part of it. But I think they're also now aware online's a big part too.
Yeah.
So I think they are working on a new expansive big story, and I'm sure. Yeah. But I definitely I'm ready for just GTA 6 at this one. I've played a lot of GTA 5. I don't know how much more I can explore in there. I've done it all. It feels like. But you're right.
I've played the single player several times.
Like, me too.
It's
and
fun.
It's a super fun game. It's a super fun game. And
dude, I even like the yoga mission. You know where he does yoga and he falls over and then he takes acid and he falls like through the sky. I'm like, dude, those are fun missions. I really enjoyed it.
I like the alien one.
That's the alien one. That starts with the yoga. Then he goes out with his son, and his son gives him something like with acid in it or mushrooms. I don't know what. I don't do drugs. But like he starts like imagining he's like falling, and then like aliens are like watching him over him.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, this game is trippy. I love it. I mean, that game is just so great. And you know what? I do want to play Grand Theft Auto 5 again, single player. But I mean, here's the thing: I will get it. I will get it on the PS5. There's no doubt. I'm sure
absolutely. I'm gonna get it for the graphics.
Yeah, it's going to look gorgeous. I'll play the single player again.
I want to blow some people up in 4K, Jack.
Yeah, 8K. PS5 is 8K.
8K. Yeah. But let's see, Prakash, what about more game streams and movie watch parties? Those are coming this week. I'm actually going to be working on configuring some game stuff out today and seeing how we do that a little bit more easily. Last time I was only able to figure out to do it as a self-record on my phone. So I was streaming the Xbox to my phone, and then my phone was recording itself and then live streaming on YouTube. And but I was getting notifications. You could see all my notifications going off and stuff. And so I'm going to try and configure some stuff out, maybe try and use link Twitch and YouTube so we can do that. Simultaneously, but we'll definitely be doing some. And if you want to do any movie watch parties, I'm down, man. Just let me know what movies do you guys want. I would love
Blade
to do
Runner. That'd be kind of cool.
We might have to do that. My birthday.
Do you have that digitally, or is it on Amazon or someplace we can? I think if we do it
have
on
it-
Amazon, we're a little bit safer,
I have it on
right?
Vudu. I have the final cut on Vudu,
Oh, there you go. Voodoo. Yeah, there we go.
and I got 49 on there too.
There you go. Actually, if you have it on Vudu, you should be able to watch it on Amazon also. I think Amazon has like different rules. Like if it's on Amazon, you can do a watch
really?
party. Yeah, it's weird. Like if someone catches you, you can get in trouble. But so I think. Oh crap, we're down to 2 viewers. What happened? What happened? We talked about Blade Runner. We were down to 2 viewers. What happened?
We
Oh, my
mentioned
God.
Blade Runner, and they all left.
They all left. Yeah.
But yeah, we'll definitely do some more games and some more movie streams. I think Ty will be doing. Hopefully, we'll be doing the Supernatural, bringing the Supernatural watch party back.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we'll definitely be doing those things again, Prakash, for sure.
Definitely.
For sure.
Definitely. Hand down.
But let's see what else we got on the docket today.
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan, your friend Joe. Yes.
Uh-oh. So this is what happened. Joe Rogan had this comedian on named Joe List. And this is what he said. I'm going to quote it from TMZ and New York Post.
Okay.
The big headline is that he said, quote, straight white men are being silenced by woke culture. This is what he said, quote, can you make a good comedy movie anymore? Or have they made it so dangerous in terms of being canceled that comedy movies are no longer something you can do? You can never be woke enough. That's the problem, he proclaimed. It keeps going further and further and further down the line. And if you get to the point where you capitulate, where you agree to all these demands, it'll eventually get to straight men are not allowed to talk because it's your privilege to express yourself when other people of color have been silenced through history. Let's get into it. Oh, boy. Let's get into it. Let's get into some controversy.
Well,
you go first, Austin.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I will say I think comedy's been very selective as to who they decide to cancel and who not,
Yeah.
But also, comedy is one of the few things that forever and is constantly changing. It's constantly changing, during a certain time frame, one topic is very popular and then it's not. And then it's, so it's constantly growing. It's constantly changing. And I would say, I'm not a fan of going back into 10, people's past 10 years and, digging for what they said. And, people learn, they move on, they make mistakes. At the same time, people like, people like Louis C.K., right?
Mm-hmm.
I loved Louis C.K.
Yeah.
It's freaking weird going back and listening to him now, knowing that, the stuff that he was joking about, he was basically doing,
Yeah. Well, that's different, though. That's different. It's the same thing with Cosby, right? It's hard to watch.
Right. But also,
I think he's talking about the content of jokes, though.
Right. But it does have to do with it because, right, if Louis C.K. hadn't done those things, right?
Mm-hmm.
I still think by today he wouldn't be able to be making those jokes anymore.
Well, do you think it's because people don't want to watch it, or do you think that it's because they're afraid of? Because there's the thing, Dave Chappelle's last special got like 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, but audiences loved it because it was a very anti-PC. And I think Dave Chappelle's always been anti-PC. I mean, he's still into social justice. I mean, his thing on Netflix that he did was called 848. It's not like he's a right winger. But like he's still like, on Saturday Night Live, he said stuff that, he made a joke about why women don't get paid as much men. And then he actually looked at the crowd and he's like, wait, I thought we were doing a comedy show here. I think that that Dave Chappelle said that. He says, I can't tell a joke I can't tell the truth unless it's at the end of a joke, meaning that people won't listen to some of the things that need to be said unless I put a joke in front of it. But that being said, Bill Burr does make the same joke. He got in trouble because he made jokes about white women.
Right.
He's like, they basically like hijacked the woke culture. Like it was supposed to be about, disenfranchised people. And then they took their Gucci shoes and somehow made it about them. And I was like, that was hilarious.
It came a bunch of Karens.
A bunch of Karens. We're the victims too,
Yeah. And see, I like that type of stuff. I'm talking about like
I'm a huge Bill Burr fan.
Yeah, I'm a Bill Burr fan. I don't because and look, Justin is absolutely right. I actually agree with him. He says he's both right and wrong at the same time. I do feel like comedy is being stifled. Agreed. But I don't think it caused straight, because white straight white men can't talk.
Yeah.
And I
think
agree.
the point Joe was saying is that right now, like if you keep, and this is what I've always said about cancel culture, if someone just says no, like if someone says, well, that was too offensive, or we didn't like the point you made, and just says, no, we're not changing us. But he's saying if you keep capitulating to a certain point, it's going to get to that part,
Right.
And like a couple of months ago, you know how every morning at Congress, they have a morning prayer, right?
Yeah.
And one guy said, amen and a women. And I was like,
yeah, I heard that. Right.
Amen has nothing to do with men. It's a Hebrew word that happens to sound like that.
Right.
People were saying, well, he's being inclusive.
It's like Dave Chappelle and a bunch of and a bunch of my friends I know that never bought. They came out. They're like, oh, during that whole time frame, all the companies were changing things, and they canceled Aunt Jemima. And Dave Chappelle did a skit, man. He's like, nobody freaking asked you to cancel Aunt Jemima, man. This isn't what's gonna fix the problem, dude. That's not the problem. Yeah. So yeah, I do think comedy is being stifled a bit for sure.
You think a movie like The Hangover could come out now?
I think so.
They would say it's about toxic male culture, and I'm like, well, yeah, kind of. That's kind of the point.
It would be a shock, more of a shock probably than it was back then, which is weird to think.
Yeah, I know, right? We've kind of become a little more puritanical.
We have.
In a weird way, because I always say this, like, I consider myself center left.
Right.
It used to be the conservatives, the evangelicals, no offense, who are like, oh, this is bad. You can't watch this. You shouldn't watch this. Don't listen to this music. Don't watch this show. Don't listen to this comedian. Let's get them taken off the airwaves. And in a weird way, it's kind of flipped.
Yeah.
Like, I went to Catholic school all my life. I remember when they were complaining about Britney Spears wearing a Catholic schoolgirl outfit, and they're like, how dare she do that? I'm like, look, thank God she did that.
Yeah.
To help me get through puberty. My point is,
I agree.
It's kind of switched now. Like, all of a sudden, it's like, don't show women as too sexy, like,
right.
Why did Gal shave her armpit hair for Wonder Woman? It's like, oh.
Yeah, the tides have turned. But also, I don't think it's as bad as everybody's making out. I don't
know.
I think
this stuff always happens in increments, though, because people always listen to the extremists. Remember the whole, not to get political, but like, remember the whole birther movement about Obama not being born in America? It was stupid, but it starts off with a small group of people, and then the politicians realize, like, hey, that's a voting base, so they won't deny it. But it always, all crazy ideas start with someone shouting too loud.
That's
people listen to them.
It's not that there's because there's always been extremists on each side. Okay, right? Civil rights movement. Mm-hmm. You had extremists on one side that was like, we're gonna burn this country down until we get what we want. Yeah. And you have the other extremists that was like, these guys shouldn't be. I mean, it was crazy, right? But what ended up prevailing? I'm not saying racism is gone. We still have a lot of issues. We still have got things to deal with. But those extremists didn't end up prevailing, Yeah. I think, like I said, they're extremists on each side, and I guess you're right. It does start in increments, but I don't see it going where everybody's claiming it is. That I think it's just people making a bigger deal. And I don't agree with the extremists on either side. I don't think we're gonna get to a time where we're not going to be able to say anything, or we're not going to be able to do that, right? And even with the whole Gina Carano stuff, right? Yeah. I'm torn because
wouldn't it be funny if Kathleen Kennedy's out and Gina Carano's back in?
God.
Guys, by the way, if you become a Patreon, you get to see my signed photo of her. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Can't show it on here.
but yeah, even her thing, I'm torn, right? Because I don't agree with what she said. Mm-hmm. At the same time, she has a right to make a statement and all that. Yeah,
but
at the same time, Disney has the right to fire her because she works for them. She's representative of their company. If they don't agree with what she says publicly, that's the consequence of working with a high-profile company like that.
Here's the selective thing. Pedro also made the same comparison when he showed the kids in cages. And he said, oh, this is like Nazi Germany. He made a similar comparison. And it turns out the picture was from before 2016. He didn't get a slap on the wrist. What I'm saying
I don't think that's a similar comparison. She was, kids in cages is that's pretty close to kids in gas chambers. It's like
Nah,
you think
come on, gas chambers. Nah, it's not the same thing.
kids. That's exactly what they were doing.
But they're not going to put these kids in gas chambers, though.
No, I'm not. But I'm not. The
See, you sound like Gina Carano because he's like, "This is where it's leading to. It's going to get there."
I think
you think I'm trying to be cool, but really, I have a face light that's really hurting my eyes right now. It's like really bright. So like, I was like, oh shit, my eyes.
Right.
And
I think she was straight up comparing like Republicans to like Jews in Nazi Germany, and that's where I was like, I don't know. And again, I don't know if she should have been fired or not. I'm still torn because, like I said,
she might be coming back too. Because I think that didn't really. Right. But again, I think that was they were afraid of the Twitter mob. Twitter's the worst place to get your politics from. A lot of people go on Twitter to get their politics because I don't think Americans are that like extreme, but because extremist people are the most motivated, so they tend to get they become activists on both sides.
So I'm thinking of it in this term, right? In these terms, right? You have the right to say whatever you want. That's your freedom of speech. Absolutely, 100. Nobody's going to take that away from you. But let's say I'm working for the Pop Culture Corner.
Yeah.
Okay, I am under your brand. I'm representative of Pop Culture Corner like even on my set. So let's say as that I go and tweet out, something ridiculous like some support, for some white extremist Americans or whatever nationals.
Hey man, if you're a patron, I'll take it. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah. I would expect that there would be some kind of consequence because while I may have that right to say it, I have that right to believe it. The job that I am in, the work that I am doing makes it so that my responsibility is bigger than myself, right? I have to be thinking all the time more than just me. And my opinion is that I have to think of the brand, the company, you guys, everything I say, everything we say affects so, it's hard because I would think, you guys would probably fire me for it.
Actually, honestly, if you're Spanish and support white supremacy, that'd be like something like, why? I would like to have that conversation.
I know, but just for the sake of, what I'm trying to say,
Well, let me put it to you this way. The issue I've had a lot with the sort of the left woke, this is why I consider myself a liberal but not a leftist, is what Gina was the point she was trying to make, maybe not a good point, the thing of otherizing people, like, oh, they're the others, and like, oh, the other side, that's what they're like.
Did you have to say it by comparing them to people who have been mass genocide?
No, exactly. But my point is, we're also in a weird place where I feel like most Americans don't know our own history, and we only know about World War II. And we tend to think that we saved. I mean, we kind of did, but it was other company.
But she works for a bunch of Jews. What did she think was going to happen?
Jeez. All right. So everyone.
Seriously. I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
But here's the thing. She wasn't saying that the Holocaust was a good thing. What she was saying was that before Jewish people were rounded up and killed, the first thing they did was otherize them. They had to wear these patches on their arm. Then they were put in ghettos, and it was incremental, right? Then it was all right, let's move them to concentration camps and labor camps, and then eventually
patches in their arms and being
But what she was saying was, and again, I don't agree with the line where she was going with it. What I was saying is, she was saying it starts with otherizing. And that's how it started. Because well before Hitler, there was a lot of anti-Semitism.
What got her fired and what got her in trouble was that she compared it to the otherism with, others and Republicans are compared to Jews in the Holocaust.
Yeah. No, I disagree with that. But the photo she showed was when they were being otherized. And again, I'm not defending what she said. I thought it was a stupid comparison. But I was watching Bill Maher the other day, and one lady was like, "Oh, she's a white supremacist," and Bill was like, "Whoa, wait, stop! What do you mean she's a white supremacist?" Yeah, because what happens is everyone kind of lumps everything together. Right. Like, that means she's a right wing. She's a Trump supporter. Yeah, she's not.
She made a very stupid comment. I mean,
yeah, I agree.
She made a very stupid comment, and unfortunately, it cost her job.
Well, let me ask you this: if someone did the reverse of that from the left wing, do you think they would have been fired for it? If they'd said, "Well, Trump is literally Hitler." And I'm saying, well, now you're comparing a guy who responsible for a war that killed 6 million Jews, 60 million people overall, to Trump. Is that a bad comparison?
No, I think it's actually comparable.
How?
That's another whole other conversation.
But my point is, I would say that there's zero evidence to back that up, even though Trump was Trump. But my point is,
coronavirus, dude, thousands, millions died, and that was under his negligence. I put that under him.
You put that under him. Okay, well, how about all the people that have died since January to now? You see what I'm saying? Like, it gets a little tricky because you had like so many celebrities.
The number of people that died, under other leadership, under other administration.
I don't want to get into this. Let's get this in for Jack. Let's save this for Jiving with
Jack coming next
we're
Tuesday.
Coming. But my point is, like, if people make those comparisons, and I think it's a stupid comparison because one thing, the virus. Okay, I'll give that to you. But Trump didn't go out systematically round up 60 million people or 6 million people.
No, not saying. And
I would say that the other person say, hey, that to me is just as offensive. Or a Holocaust victim could say, hey, that's offensive to me. Because, I had family, relatives, I have children who are now adults, old people who lived through that. And they can say, well, I need that taken down. That's why my issue is it always becomes a slippery slope. It always becomes, well, this offended me. Like, you're a Protestant, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a Catholic. So traditionally, Catholic churches, on our crosses, we usually have Jesus hanging on there, right?
Right.
Now, if I see a Protestant cross, I'm like, oh, that's offensive to me. I feel like that should be taken down. No, the answer should be like, no, mind your own business. You don't like it, you should. So my issue with Drina wasn't that what she said was right or wrong. I think it was a stupid comparison. I agree, but it becomes like a slippery slope because I feel like you and I right here and the people watching us, we could probably start some outrage thing about one thing. And create enough noise on Twitter, get a hashtag trending, and some idiot in power be like, oh, I guess I better listen to him. It's sort of the mob mentality. That's what I'm kind of worried about.
I understand that. I do. I do. I don't know. I just feel like with that one, I do think, if you're a celebrity or whatever, an athlete or somebody in a person of influence, I just think you have to be real careful. What you say, what you comment, you have to think twice. You have to be so self-aware. And people make mistakes, and we should be forgiving and all that. And maybe she shouldn't have been fired.
Justin knows my politics.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe she shouldn't have been fired, but I don't know what. Maybe just Disney coming out and saying a strong like we don't support the views of this certain person.
I'd be fine with that too.
Right. So I don't know firing, but again, at the same time, she made a very conscious decision when she went to work for that company and that show.
Yeah.
That everything she does on social media, Twitter, everywhere is going to be analyzed, and she screws up, it could cost her job. It's not like, and that's what I like is people are acting like, oh, she's the only one, like she's a victim. And this is happening all across Hollywood.
But that's the problem. That's what I'm saying, though. That's what I'm saying.
You could lose your job. You could
lose your job. But should they lose their job, especially when we know, like, look what Harvey Weinstein was getting away for decades. They were making jokes about it at the Golden Globe before he was caught. Like Seth MacFarlane made a joke, like, and you don't have to pretend you're in love with Harvey Weinstein. Everyone started laughing because they were in on the joke. My question is, there are people like Harvey Weinstein, people like Woody Allen, people who are like Bill Cosby. Right. All the stories about Cosby came out. Like I was watching Joe Rogan with Bill Maher. Like, yeah, dude, we heard stories about Bill Cosby 20 years ago. I'm like, why didn't you say something?
Right.
You knew he was doing this to be. And it sucks. I loved Bill Cosby growing up. I kind of miss watching the Cosby Show. It's not on TV anymore.
Right.
But like that, the stuff they should go after, they don't. But when someone makes a comment they don't like, and again, it's always the Twitter mob that's like and people like Twitter. People tend to follow trends. That's why it's called trending. Yeah. They see something like, I better retweet this so I can feel part of the group without understanding the issue or, look what happened with Colin Kaepernick. All right. So Colin Kaepernick, he started kneeling because he's like, look, I'm bringing attention to the fact that I feel that African-Americans are treated differently by police officers, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think. But then all of a sudden, like, Bill Burr made this point, like everyone started yelling at the fact, oh, you're kneeling? I have no legs. And I would stand for the national anthem. It's like, that's not the point he's making.
That's not the point.
That's not the point he's making. Oh, my brother was a firefighter on 9/11. Bill Burr does his bit. He's like, and again, like the mob.
And it was so funny because you would hear the Republicans would come out and be like, this is so disrespect, and you'd hear veterans, on the conservative side come out and go, man, this is a slap in the face to me serving, and I served 2 tours and blah, blah, blah. On the other side, you hear a guy going, this is what I fought for, man.
Mhm.
I went. This is exactly what I fought for. Was the ability to this guy on a public stage and influence to express
Yeah.
what he wanted
And
to
by the way, this
express.
goes back to the 60s during the Olympics.
Yep.
Black people were winning gold medals for America.
Yeah.
But they weren't treated well over here.
Right.
And
Yeah.
they put their fists up, and everyone's like, oh, why are they doing that? I'm like, well, they're trying to bring attention to a point. And rather than talking about that point, if you think that, maybe cops are being unjustly labeled, okay, then have that conversation. But then you change the whole, like, oh, no, my, Bill Burr does. It's like, my brother was a firefighter and he saw 9/11 on television. Like, it's like, okay, now you're not talking. And
they always
that's
come
that
back,
mob mentality,
They always come at you with, if you say one thing about a cop, oh, you think all cops are bad. No, I don't think all cops are bad. I don't think everybody's bad. But that doesn't, me not thinking they're all bad doesn't mean you have to acknowledge the bad. You still have to acknowledge the bad. You have to try to fix it. That's the whole point.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, everybody just likes to take things to a certain extreme or
and that's why I worry when it happens like this again and again.
Yeah.
Look, I like Clint Eastwood's movies. I hate his politics. That dude is really right wing. Like, I don't like how far right wing is, but he makes a good director. He's a good actor. In fact, if he was left wing, I'd probably be like, nah, that doesn't make sense. He's an old white guy. He should be angry. That's kind of his.
Right.
I think that Gran Torino is what he's like in real life.
He doesn't push it in his movies. I know that man's politics, and you don't. I think unless you knew, you wouldn't be able to tell that he was. What he thinks.
Did you see when he was at the Republican convention in 2012 and he was talking to an empty
chair?
chair?
Like, yeah, I don't. Yep.
I was like, all right, I don't know what that was.
Yeah, but, it's kind of funny. He did that movie Gran Torino, which I really liked actually. But
that movie came out the year Obama got elected, and I said it's kind of interesting because there was like a disconnect between the older generation, how they saw Obama, and the younger generation, and I thought that was a great movie. It just came out at the right time.
I did too, yeah, and so I think he does have a good little hand. I mean, he obviously he's diverse. He's not one of those right wing, old man, racist or anything. But we just have some fun ideals, we'll say.
Yeah. I didn't see that movie he did about the Atlanta Olympics. Richard Jewell, I think it was called. Yeah, it was about the security guard who was accused at first of they thought he might have been the bomber when the bomb went off in Atlanta.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I saw the mule. I saw the one he did where he's the Olympics. True story. He played a drug mule at 70 years old. Or 80 years old or something. So I saw that. That was pretty good. But
I didn't see that one though. But So wow, look how that. See, that's kind of. It's a shame no one's watching right now. They got like 5 people watching. But speaking of which, so this kind of touches on the issue of free speech. Prince Harry or Mr. Harry Windsor. Said that he thought the First Amendment was a little bit bonkers. And I was like, it's always good when the British comment about it because they do actually have free speech.
Do we know exactly what he said?
And I had it pulled up and I shut it down. Let me see. Keep vamping.
Let's see. I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what I'd like to know.
So this is from today, which I think, here we go. He said, discussing the intrusion of paparazzi. I don't want to start sort of going down on a First Amendment route because that's a huge subject and one I don't understand because I've only been here for a short period of time. But you can find a loophole in anything and you can capitalize or exploit what's not said rather than uphold what is. I believe we live in an age now where we've got certain elements of the media redefining what privacy means. I've got so much I want to say about the First Amendment as I sort of understand it, but it's bonkers. So, okay, I'll give him props because the paparazzi might have had a huge hand in killing his mom. We know there were paparazzi were following that car, even though I think the royal family had her killed. We'll talk about that.
I know.
Back.
But I don't know. I actually don't have a problem with what he said. It's just like it's just like he said in that stadium. The media will take things and twist things, and that headline was. He calls the First Amendment bonkers. We don't know what he meant, but maybe he was just saying, "I'm just learning about the First Amendment, and it's blowing my mind. I'm just learning about."
Tell me if you agree with this statement. People always say, "What can the government do to fix?" I think the people need to get better. I think people need to be less right wing or left wing and be more independent thinking in terms of their opinions and stop getting stuff from Twitter and stuff, or even us. Well, maybe not us. We're pretty balanced here. But I think the problem is people are always hoping like the next politician or the next celebrity will save their lives, and going down because when Joe Rogan later on said is I think people should just be nice to each other. I'm like, well, that solves 90% of the problems right there.
I think people need to get to this point. We've come to a place now where your opinion defines you, and it shouldn't. People that define other people by their opinion, and it's like, oh, you like Trump, you're a white nationalist, supremacist, racist, warmonger, like all these crazy things, and that's not necessarily true. I know some good people that voted for Trump. I know some interesting people, some good people that knew Trump that were, so I'm not, we have to be so careful because
I think the media plays the worst part of it. I think it started with Fox News, then it became MSNBC. It's so hard to find facts about, like sometimes like with this whole Palestine-Israel thing, which I don't want to get into, it's hard to find out what's really happening because you have right-wing media telling you one thing, you have left-wing media, and you're like, hey, can I just get some facts so I can figure it out myself? And you can't do that because everything is so biased. Mm-hmm. And I think our Americans are going crazy. Like, you either watch Bill Maher or Ben Shapiro. Like you can't just get the news, and even the news you get is being filtered so that they give you a certain point of view. And when people are trying to be informed, if you give them your point of view, they think that's fact, and that's dangerous. I think Americans, especially Americans, need to become more independent minded. If you hear an opinion you don't like, even though if you know it's wrong, look into it, research it. Like, okay, why would this person say that?
And at the same time, don't go, oh my gosh, I hate this person because they have that opinion, or I'm never going to talk to this person because they don't have that. They don't have a. Obviously, you can see there's a few things me and Jack don't agree with. Yeah, it's not like I'm going to hang up this call and never speak to Jack again after this. And,
Could you imagine that if you had an opinion I didn't like that I'd be upset about it?
I'm trying to think of one that I could actually
wink, nod.
Right. Yeah. Let's see, Josh.
But my point is, could you imagine? It's like, I don't want to do Jiving with Jack with Austin. I want justice. Oh God, no, not justice. I'm gonna have a new host come and join me. I'm gonna have Justin come and
right. Everybody nowadays is so sensitive, and then on top of it, after being sensitive, instead of acting like humans or like adults and stuff, we throw little pity parties and we do little slights and we do it's funny. It's the same. We do the same thing that Warner Brothers, right, did to Zach. We do it to each other all the time, especially when Tyler, right? Warner Brothers, Zach came out and literally said, Warner Brothers was doing all these little things, right, while he's doing promotions for the Snyder Cut and doing that. They're releasing the 4K trailer for Justice League. They're putting out, pictures. They're releasing, talking about Black Superman. They're doing all these little things, and it's just because they're butthurt. They're sensitive and they're butthurt, and we do the same thing to each other as people when we don't agree. And
I agree.
That's we have to come to a place in society and as a people where we can just agree to disagree and be cool with it, and not let that affect. You know what it
reminds me of?
Outside.
When I was a kid. So like I'm gonna get a little dicey territory here, but I was born Catholic. My parents are Catholic. I went to Catholic school. So you're always in this Catholic environment, right? 24 hours a day, 7 days. You come home, family says the rosary before we go to bed, blah, blah, blah. You go to mass, everything's Catholic. And like when you're a kid, you're like, well, how could anyone not be Catholic? Right? How could someone be, Jewish or Muslim or Hindu when I have all the right answers? And there's a part of you that's part of growing up. You're like, hey, people aren't going to believe the same stuff you do. And even though it's true for you and means so much to you, you have to kind of accept it. And I remember going through that period as like a kid, the first time I met an atheist, I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? I don't feel that way anymore. But as a kid, I'm like, well, how can you not believe in God? Why? Because I think that instead of evolving and growing, like, okay, you know what? This person has a different opinion than me because I don't look at it from their point of view, blah, blah, blah. We tend to stick with like, no, I'm right. I'm right. Like, imagine if I had stayed that way at age 13 or 12 or whatever I was asking those questions. Like, no. How can you not be Catholic? How can you not have the same ideas? And, and everyone's like, well, I'm not wrong. You're wrong. And then I go find 10 other people who will tell me what I want to hear. And it becomes like an echo chamber. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, and I think the same people are about politics, celebrities, movies. They just cannot stand that someone has, look, that guy Jody who hates the Snyder Cut, hates the Snyderverse. You know what I'm talking about, right? I still enjoy sometimes watching his channel because I like the other things he has to say. And I was like,
Right.
maybe it's a sign of maturity on myself that I can enjoy his other opinions and vehemently disagree with him about the Snyderverse or the Snyder Cut and BVS and stuff like that. And yeah, so sometimes I always say, if you want to grow as a person, find someone whose opinion you hate and listen to them and get through it and accept it and move on. Just let it go. Like, all right, that person doesn't believe what I believe. I got to let it go.
And it's
you got to cool.
Exactly.
I feel like if everyone did that, everyone would just be like a lot more,
We'd be much closer to a utopian society than now.
It'd be very Star Trek. You don't watch Star Trek, but yes, it'd be very Star Trek. But like, man, I'm having fun with this. Yeah, this
was a good one.
Yeah, this is a good one. I don't know what happened to all our viewers. We went from like 12 to 3.
Right. Probably politics. It was probably politics.
Why not? Why not?
But yeah, man. Do you have anything else here before we?
No, that's it. Did you have anything else?
I think that's it. I know. Recently, I saw kind of while we were watching this. The Dear Evan Hansen has a movie. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with, but Dear Evan Hansen was a Broadway show a couple years ago. Dear Evan Hansen was a Broadway show a couple years ago. It starred Ben Platt. Okay. It kind of rose to a bunch of fame, much like Hamilton. It kind of it got popular amongst people outside of Broadway, and they're now doing a movie version of it. I never got to see, obviously, the play or anything. I didn't go to New York for it, but I've heard amazing things. It's a multiple Tony Award-winning musical. Okay. And so that'll be interesting. Amy Adams, Julianne Moore, Ben Platt.
Oh, wow.
So they got that. The trailers for that is out. So definitely, guys.
I don't know if we can watch that. Can we watch it? Every time we watch a trailer, we get in trouble. Tyler gets mad because
we're allowed. We're allowed trailers. We're allowed trailers.
The loud trailers. You want to take a look at it real quick? I don't know.
Okay. Trailers are okay. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet, so we don't have
to.
Like,
what if they're playing like 20 songs? Like, Knowing Our Luck, they have like 20.
Right. Yeah. That's the other thing. You know what? It's a musical, so if they do start singing music from the musical, we probably don't want to. But yeah. So, but definitely, guys, check it out. Let us know what you think if you're gonna see it, if you're into musicals or not. We know our creator Ty, his favorite thing is musicals. He actually loves musicals. I was just talking to Ty, and Ty was telling me that his number one favorite movie of all time was Les Miserables and Into the Woods, and I just couldn't believe it. Wow. I just couldn't believe it. And you know what he told me? You know what else he told me, Jack? He said that the number one movie he's looking forward to this year, besides Zack Snyder's Justice League, of course, which is already released, the number one movie that our creator Ty Roberts is looking forward to this year is In the Heights from Lin-Manuel Miranda. Yeah, it's his most anticipated film of 2021.
There you go.
I know, guys.
Know.
Yeah. You guys saw the Batman calendar on Twitter. I just DM'd up. Well, let me head to my DMs.
Take a look at that. Meanwhile, while you're looking that up, folks, in less than a week, in fact, exactly 1 week, we're going to have Jiving with Jack starting next Tuesday at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. It's the same time that we're starting TY's Corner. In fact, we moved TY's Corner about an hour and 15 minutes to adjust to this new time. I do want to thank all of you guys who have been sticking with us. We're not going just yet, but just sticking with us through this time change. But we have we're going to be doing Jiving with Jack. We're going to be getting into hot topics. We're going to be touching on the hot button issues. And we're still going to be covering the news. We're still covering, what's going to be happening with Warner Brothers and stuff like that. So don't fret. We're still going to be covering all the stuff. We're going to push the envelope a little bit. We'll say words like damn and hell.
We'll say words like damn and hell. I like that. We'll really push the envelope, guys. We'll really we'll get you guys excited for sure. Prakash just DM'd me this cool little this is the Batman calendar, 12-month calendar that I will now definitely be buying. It looks pretty cool. We'll do the whole phone up to the screen again.
Ooh, that looks nice. Oh, that's Matt Reeves Batman. Okay.
It's Matt Reeves the Batman, the official 2022 calendar.
Ooh.
So it looks pretty cool there. I actually really like that. I think that is very, very cool. Prakash, thank you Thank you for sending me that, and I am now going to buy one.
Yeah, there you go.
So
It will be hopefully won't be canceled by 2022.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Warner Brothers.
Yeah. All right. Oh, geez. All right. I think that wraps it up. Listen, everyone, please, thank you so much for watching. I think we're doing a quick dip to tomorrow night. I'm not 100% sure, but you guys are doing the morning show tomorrow, right? Wednesday
we are
morning?
doing a morning show tomorrow. Morning show returns, guys. We are on Monday, Wednesdays with a Friday option. Or as of right now, I believe our Friday show is going to be what we're calling Nights of the Comic Roundtable. With
very
your
clever.
host, yes, with your hosts, myself and Ty, and a special guest each week. As we just kind of go over and talk about comics, our favorite comics. We're gonna get deep into the comic stuff, guys. I've been wanting to do this for a really, really long time. I love talking comic books and like reading them along with you guys. So if you guys are out there and want to join us, we're reading John Ridley's The Next Batman. It's from DC's Future State. Just started. Yeah, John Ridley, if you guys don't know, he's the screenwriter of 12 Years a Slave and some other really good movies. And he's now gone over to the comic book world, and he's been writing The Next Batman. And it is it's cool, man. It's cool. It's cool.
Listen,
it's cool.
Prakash is recommending we watch Indian dramas.
Is an Indian movie. Yeah, you're right. KGF. I saw the trailer for the first one, chapter 1. It's like very stylized. And actually, kind of like the cinematography and like the style looks a little Zack Snyder-ish.
Yeah, well, he's influencing people. Speaking of Asian dramas, I've been telling you, dude. Justin might appreciate this if Justin.
Oh yeah.
I have been addicted to Korean dramas.
Your Asian soaps,
dude.
Your Korean soaps.
Dude, they're so good. Their murder mysteries are good. Like, they have a time travel show, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so cool. It really well done. They don't have like all those like side stories that kind of detract.
Right.
You know, like they just focus on the plot, and like there's not a lot of filler, like at least from what I've seen. And holy crap, they're really good. I can't stop watching them. The acting is really good. Really good drama. I mean, there are a lot of them on Netflix. I mean, I'd seen one called The Great Queen Seon-duk, which I could not stop watching. It reminded me of Game of Thrones, but a little bit more focused of a story. But dude, K-dramas, people have been telling me for years, you gotta watch Korean dramas. I'm like, why would I watch a Korean drama? And once you start watching, like, it's hard to watch other TV shows. It's hard to watch other TV shows. Like, they're just so addicting.
Our first official close-up look at Paul Dano's The Riddler. I don't know if y'all can see.
Ooh.
Paul Dano's The Riddler from Matt Reeves to Batman. There we go.
Ooh. Can you DM me that? I can share it on the screen.
Huh?
If you DM me that, I can share it on the screen.
Perfect.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that.
I'll DM it to you.
He's a pretty good actor. I loved him in There Will Be Blood. I mean, that was such a good movie.
Incredible in There Will Be Blood for sure.
I drink your milkshake. I drink it up.
Oh, bro. That performance is terrifying. But this kind of makes me think of a theory that I'm having that this movie is going to kind of go ahead and adapt the Hush storyline in a sense with the Riddler and because obviously we have never outside of the Hush storyline, and we know Riddler is the villain of this movie. Outside of the Hush storyline, we've never seen Riddler in a mask like this with the glasses, and I mean, it's very, 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 very Hush-like.
All right. It's from someone whoops. You know what it said? It said this tweet is hidden because it's from someone you don't follow. Whoops, my bad. Oh, okay. The person. Not
really,
you.
Jack?
No, it's not you. It's the person who originally shared it. That's why.
Okay. Got it.
That's what it was. But let's take a look at this before we head out. All right. Do you guys see that? Ooh, look at that. Oh, accept. Sorry.
Wow.
Sorry. There we go. Look at that. Yeah, that looks it does look very Hush. Very Hush. And they're not going in that direction. Let me ask you this. It might be the Riddler, but do you think it's Edward Nygma, or do you think it's Matt Reeves' iteration?
I don't think it's Nygma.
I don't think it's Edward Nash or whatever they call him.
Right. I think it's gonna be Nash, yeah. Edward Nash or whatever.
Yeah. Period action.
Yeah. Here's an interesting thing. Jason Momoa reveals he co-wrote the first story treatment for Aquaman 2.
Oh,
And
really?
says, quote unquote, all of our hearts are in it. And he starts shooting the film in July.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go,
Yeah.
man. Aquaman 2's coming. Hopefully.
Aquaman 2. Hopefully
Discovery
it's
Channel doesn't cancel it. But you know
right.
they're going to do a lot of cross promotions, like the science of Aquaman.
Yeah.
Is it
Oh,
possible to
you're
breathe
gonna get
underwater?
Shark Week with Jason Momoa.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll get
Do
to
a whole special on bats,
right. Yeah,
all
a
that
special
stuff.
on bats with Ben Affleck. Could you
Yeah.
imagine that? Let's see. We can exclusively debut the. Wow. Oh, now this may be a debut trailer we might want to check out here on the stream real quick.
Uh-oh, what is it?
The exclusive trailer for Batman: The Long Halloween Part 2, which is interesting because The Long Halloween Part 1 ain't even out yet, I thought.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Unless I
'cause
missed
I know
something.
we watched it I think before you joined. The Long Halloween Part 1, 2021 film. It comes out in June. So you're right. It still hasn't come out. So next month, less than a month away.
Okay, so
All right,
they already released the trailer for Part 2.
Let's take a look at it. The Long Halloween
Part 2.
Part 2 trailer. Yeah, let's take a look at that. I'm going to pull that up. Let's see how that looks. 'Cause I really like the animation. Yeah, 5 hours ago. This will be courtesy of our friends at IGN.
IGN.
I'm going to share this real quick, guys. We're going to watch this. Hopefully they don't have any music playing. God, I hope they don't have any music playing. They have like the Beatles playing, and then we're in trouble. Let's go.
Help! I need somebody.
Oh, it started playing.
Do you know what my people call this past year? The Long Halloween.
The holiday killer's covering his tracks.
I'm here to cut a deal. You want Falcone, and I got plenty on him.
Heads, I'll take it. Your father went into business with the Roman, and how many innocent lives did he end up trading for it?
Where'd you find them?
You're not going to like it.
Ooh.
When you were coming up, you wouldn't have thought to hire freaks.
Times change.
It's hard to believe the man who stood on this roof and made that promise would cross the line.
Everyone's invited to this party.
Twinkle, twinkle, little bat. How I wonder what you're... What is this? Judgment Day.
Wow.
When?
Wow. I look forward to that, man. I've always wanted to see the Long Halloween.
Yeah, this is
be
probably my
adapted.
favorite graphic novel. I know everyone says Dark Knight Returns, but I think Long Halloween and Dark Victory are some of my favorites. I also like did you ever read the Cataclysm stuff when Gotham gets an earthquake and like for like a
Yes.
whole year?
Yeah.
No Man's Land.
Yep, I like that. I'm a big fan of Morrison's Arkham series. I really love the Arkham series. I really, and I think it's just because much like Long Halloween, I love the variety of villain. As much as I love Joker too, they're so fun.
Yeah,
to see
their other
those
villains,
two.
they're just so good.
The other villains are so great. They're so great, and Scarecrow, and that's why I love Long Halloween, Scarecrow, and I really like Hush. I really liked Hush.
Yeah, Hush was a great.
I just read Hush recently.
I read that in high
really
school
liked
when it came out, one issue at a time.
Yeah.
Imagine
the
that.
Court of Owls is another big thing I really, 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 really love. I would and I'm really hoping that because I get this kind of feel that they could do it with Pattinson's the Batman, that they could really get into
like
the
this
Court of
Illuminati
Owls.
type thing. They kind of touched on it in the Gotham series. It was all right, but
yeah, I don't count Gotham.
But what can you do? That scene now, could you imagine if let's say they do a Batfleck series and they introduce a Court of Owls after the fact.
I think they should do a Batfleck series, but I want them now to. I think his Batman should be an adaptation of the Arkham games, the Arkham Knight.
Yeah,
games.
well, he looks like the Arkham Batman.
Not only does he look like it, he's got the agility, he's got the tech, he's got the I mean, there's a great opportunity there.
Angel Batman.
Yeah, Hush and Law and Halloween are big for me.
I love them.
But also, like Justin said, Court of Owls is sick.
Yeah, really good.
Sick.
It is really good.
Oh man, it's a mind effort.
It is. And Jack will actually say the word frick.
Right? Yeah. We'll say it. Wait, what? No,
frickin' this and frickin' that.
But
oh boy.
But yeah, guys, this was a good one, Jack. I know you're off to Quizzo.
Quizzo, yeah. They have this really nice slushy mixed with liquor. It tastes like Slurpee, kind of. Can't wait. But if you guys come, I'll buy you one.
Love it. I'm still waiting on Batman Beyond with Keaton. So am I. We'll see if they probably spin
after
that out of Flashpoint.
Yeah.
I'm over here advocating Timothy Chalamet as what's the kid who takes over?
Terry McGinnis.
McGinnis.
I'm saying they should go with an Asian actor or a black actor because you don't have to see the mouth, so it could be anyone. I mean, I know Terry McGinnis looked white, but they could literally cast anyone.
Right. Yeah.
See, this is a good point, real quick, before we go. With Affleck Batman, you assume the villains are already there.
They've all been exactly.
Terry McGinnis.
You have a lot to pull from. Exactly.
You can do an established Batman lore with Poison Ivy.
People want to see. Take me inside. Give me the Arkham game adaptation. Like, give me a full story inside of Arkham. Batman's trapped in Arkham with all these bad guys.
Did you ever see the Suicide Squad takes on Arkham or Assault on Arkham?
Yes. The DC.
That was a really good Batman story.
Very, very good Batman. And I was like, yeah, this is the adaptation of the Arkham stuff that they should do. Like,
I wish they had made the movie like that. That would have been a better movie.
Yep.
All right, guys. I could go on forever. I'm having fun. I do want to thank those of you stuck with us. So, Austin, say goodbye.
Yes, thank you, everybody. Thank you for dropping by. Don't forget, share with your friends. Check us out next week. And also check out our other videos, guys. Like I said, we're almost there. Go watch Ray Porter from last night if you haven't. And Allison Crow, that's a fun one. And let us know, guys. Let us know what you want to see, what you want us to talk about, any games, any movies. Jay Olivia said the Affleck script was the best Batman script they've ever read.
Yeah.
I've heard that as well. So, guys, definitely, don't forget to tweet us and let us know what you guys want to hear. So yeah.
Also, don't forget.
Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. Tuesday. It's going to be fun. All right, guys. Remember, if you don't have time to watch, just make sure you listen to the podcast. It's now on Anchor.
To us on the go, guys. Yeah, we're on Apple Podcasts now. We're back.
Yeah,
we're back, baby.
Justice is back too, so he's there too. You can hear him.
That's right. The Saturday podcast is also back, so be checking that out on Saturdays with Justice and Ty. But yeah, guys, we're on the go. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple. We're on Google. We're on, anywhere you listen to podcasts. Yeah, we're at MySpace. We're on MySpace.
We should resurrect that. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow morning for the morning pod. Remember, we do it for you and we do it for the culture.